Step 1, wake up, really gonna rise with the sun. Step 2, get some good, some food in you. Step 3, think real hard about what you wanna be. Step 4, everybody just do your thing.
Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 Yo, set your affirmations, aspirations. I got shit to do, the aftermath of preparation. Good food, good mood, blood in circulation. One step at a time, yeah, that's how you make it. Set a goal you control and the steps you take them. I try to pick one thought, have some concentration. And if I make a mistake, it's called education. I try to do this every day, call it replication. Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 Life ain't easy, yo, I think there's a reason though. Ups and downs, just like every different season, yo. Sometimes I'm high, other times I'm barely breathing, though. I always gotta fight and hide from the demons, yo. Negative thoughts are poison, they rot. Head full of flies, so here come the clouds. They'll never stop unless I can swap all the bad for the good in my head when I'm lost. Yeah, so I'ma fake it till I make it. Positive thoughts are overtaken, I got patience. One day at a time is how you operate a cadence. A flow, you grow, you show yourself a foundation. Stay away from all the shit that causes temptation. I know that I like to do it cause of sensation. I live my life in my head like a narration. Don't expect greatness, do my best, man, I'll take it. Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 Wake up, today's gonna be a good day.
Wake up, really gonna rise with the sun. Step 2, get some good, some food in you. Step 3, think real hard about what you wanna be. Step 4, everybody just do your thing.
If you don't like me, but you keep watching my shit, you're still a fan. I can't even begin to explain how many individuals I have on my social media right now talking shit about my message, about me, about how I look, about the individuals I surround myself with who don't follow me, don't like me, and don't actually want to see me succeed. But you still here, homie, so you still a fucking fan. And if you just took your focus off of me, off of my life, my accomplishments, my daily tasks, you would probably already be successful.
Three places that you can stay for absolutely free. 3 of them. You ain't got to play a doggone thing. Hear me. Understand that you can stay out my face for free. You can stay out my business for free. And you can stay out my way for free. Those things won't cost you a doggone thing. 3 places you can stay for absolutely free. Thank you.
As you wake up in the morning, you want to find the latest, greatest information about criminal cases and have an intuitive conversation about the suspects associated with these cases. Head over to the Bullhorn Betty channel on YouTube. Get breaking news right here on the Bullhorn Betty channel. Welcome to the Bullhorn Betty Coffee Club. Enjoy your stay and enjoy your day.
Tuesday, guys. I hope you guys are doing really, really well. Why we're running late is because I'm actually juggling two balls at the same time right now. I decided not to wait any longer and to go ahead and come live, but I'm actually double dutying. I'm just on a 10-minute recess, but don't worry. We're going to go through. You guys are just going to hear some talking in the background. That's it. You guys are going to hear a meeting going on in the background. I've got to speak at this meeting, so we're just going to listen to it. I turn the volume down as much as I can, but I don't want to miss it. It is a very important meeting here for our county. It's related to it's a work session related to our tourist tax and things of that nature. And they're going over some branding stuff for the county. And I'm not digging it, man. I'm just not digging it. I'm not digging it at all. You know, they've got stuff up there competing with Boston and Atlanta and New York, and it's like, this is freaking Bradenton, guys. Let's calm down here, okay? This is just Manatee County, okay? We're not New York City here. Let's calm down. Step away from the spreadsheet. Step away from the spreadsheet, okay? Calm down, folks. So it's crazy because I'm listening to this, and this morning, and my head is just like ready to explode because you got this older gentleman, nice guy, nice guy. He's been doing a fabulous job with our county. I got no issues with him, but he's older, okay? He's older. He's not hip, okay? When you have a growing county and you're taxing everybody out the wazoo, so much so that we had to get one of the most conservative boards in Florida, right? That's how bad it's. You don't want to, we still want to have a tourist county for what? Retirees? Like, what? The retirees are not our future. I love my older friends. Okay, I love many of you. Many of you guys are old. Come on, let's be real. We have a water town. We're growing leaps and bounds, and we're going to be a tourist destination for retirees. Like, what about our Gen Z and our millennials? Where are they going to go? Right? They are kind of our future. I think we're leaving some people behind over here. I don't know. Anyway, so you're going to hear some talking in the background when they come on. We're just on a 10-minute recess right now. They're not going to be able to hear me, but we'll be able to hear because I got to pay attention. So I'm doing two jobs at once, okay? It's not easy being me. And this county is it's getting better, but it was a hot mess just a few short years ago, a hot mess. Sounds like we're doing much better, but just got some concerns that I need to address with my county. So with that being said, we're not here for my issues, right? We're not here for my issues. We're here for else's. No, I'm just joking. So, in true fashion, I know I just kind of dove right into that dissertation, but in all fairness, I didn't want you guys being shocked if you guys started hearing noise behind me, especially with the green screen going on and things of that nature. So I wanted to make sure that you knew what was happening. If you start hearing like people talking and getting kind of loud and people making some really horrible jokes, those are usually the county commissioners because they're dry as hell. I love you, county commissioners. I love each and every one of you. If you guys watch the show, definitely, I'll keep my mouth shut from here. It's a love-hate relationship, right? It's a love-hate relationship with my county. So good morning, everyone. I'm going to go scroll to the top and see Miss Robin, the first here, bright and early on a Tuesday. Nice to see you, girlfriend. Julie, nice to see you. Work for Lutterworth. Oh, you're from the UK. I was going to say, I don't know what that means. I've never heard that before in my life, but it's a UK thing, I'm sure. So it's nice to see you from the UK. We had some UK in the house. Nice to see you guys. It's a pleasure always having people from different countries in here. So if you guys are ever from a different country and you're popping into this hair, blue-eye, crazy lady from Florida called Bullhorn Betty, don't forget to say hi and tell me where you're at, right? We love worldwide watching. We promote it. Maybe I've had too much coffee this morning. I'm not sure what it is yet. I'm not sure what it is, but maybe it's just a little too much coffee. We'll see. Because I'm still going to keep drinking it, right? Darzilla, nice to see you. Nana of 7, Pebbles, Sierra, Gigi for life, nice to see you. Ashley Archer, nice to see you. Patricia, Eileen, good morning. Caroline, and I've got a couple things. I just heard, yes, I saw Ruby earlier, so I've got her on my, just Ruby, I hope you have a speedy recovery. We love you. Go take care of yourself and make sure you get plenty of rest. We want you hitting on all cylinders for Christmas. I know this time of year is a little depressing for some of us. And, you know, I probably need to decorate just to get into the holiday spirit, but it's never just about the decorating. It's all about putting it away, right? Like, you never know when you're going to go. Like, is my Christmas decorations going to stay up for a month? Is it going to stay up for 2 months? Is it going to stay up a half a year? We never know. That's why I opt not to put too much stuff up. And I've got so much Christmas stuff. They just started again. I got so much Christmas stuff. That scared me a little bit. I'm like, where's that noise coming from? And I just told you guys not to get worried if we started hearing talking. I hope they kept my arm up past the recess. But anyways, it's not just that. It's putting it all away, and I've got so much of it that it's going to take me like hours upon hours to find a few little small decorations. Like, I usually decorate the beds. I've got duvets. Like, this house is like, it looks like a winter wonderland when you walk into it. When I decorate this place for Christmas, like it's got lights everywhere. It's got trees everywhere. It's got, you know, Santa and snowman everywhere. Like, literally, there's not a doorknob in this house that's not covered in something, right? And I've got my little my little signs. You know, I've been naughty this Christmas. You know, my little slutty Santa signs. You know, Santa baby. Oh Lord. So, anyways, I know Ruby's in the hospital. Caroline, I saw that you were talking about Hannah in here this morning. We're going to be discussing that a little bit as well. Oh, and that's another thing. They're talking about our airport. And you know, they keep saying, oh, yeah, we're like half the cost of Tampa. Well, then why the hell am I always flying out of Tampa if you're half the cost of Tampa? Just explain that to me, okay? Let's be real here, okay? They need Bullhorn Betty in these meetings. I miss my meetings. I miss a lot of my meetings. But tonight I'm going to, I am getting back into a schedule. Many of you guys know that prior to me being on YouTube, I was a political force here in the state of Florida. And I kind of stepped away from those duties to build the platforms that I built for the true crime genre here on YouTube. And it was, you know, help support my endeavors and volunteer work here in my county, right? I've got to be able to walk and chew gum. And that's what I try to do. So getting to the topic of the conversation today, is the noise behind me? Is it too loud? Is it too distracting from how it sounds through the speakers? It's pretty low on my end. I just want to make sure it's not too overpowering. What does it say? I love flying into Tampa. It's a nice airport. It's a nice airport, but but literally I can get a $10 Uber and like my airport I can spit at. The Sarasota airport is like spit from my house. So I'd much rather use Sarasota airport because I mean just the convenience of it. It's I can spit at it. You know? If I really had to, I could roll my bags from my house to the airport. And those one rare occasions where you can't find a taxi or an Uber anywhere in this county, I could literally roll my bag down the sidewalk to the airport. It'd be a little hike, but I could do it. And thank you, Carissa, for the beautiful super sticker. God bless you. God bless you. I used to live in Venice. Venice is a pretty expensive place to live as well. I mean, and you know what? I love the whole retiree thing. Like, I think that this is a great place. This community has always been known to have a lot of retirees come here because it was a very affordable beachfront community. Good morning, Casey. Nice to see you. Thank you, love. Thank you so much. But it was a very affordable town, you know, and to be honest with you, there was a lot of retirees that chose to come here to live out their retirement days. But I'm not saying, you know, cut that off. But when you're hearing a branding conversation, I'm 43 years old, you know, I don't want this to be a party town, but yet to say that we're not really even addressing the millennials or the Gen Zs, it's like, well, what? There's not room for all of us? Like, I'm not a Gen Z, but I still think, like, you know, I think of my girl, you know, Olivia. She should have some nightlife fun things to do here. She's the future, right? She's the future. So I'm not really happy with some of the branding conversations. But anyways, that's not why we're here. That's not why we're here. We're actually here to kind of go over everything that we're hearing in the news. And I don't know. I don't think that the volume is the speakers are working on this. I think I'm going to have to go through that whole same crap rigmarole that I did yesterday, which is going to suck because usually I just share my screen and you guys hear what comes out of my screen. Well, today or a couple days ago, it stopped working. And now I've got to go in there and add these windows. I can't add a screen and a window. So I'm constantly having to delete and add and delete and add. And it's just causing a major nightmare behind the scenes. Even though you guys don't realize what's going on, it's really going on. It's driving me nuts. So I'm going to try and go over some of this stuff with you. What does it say here? Let me just read some. I hear talking in the background. Okay, but it's not too, is it too bad, Amy? Because that's what I'm trying to make sure that's not overpowering. I got to listen to it because I've already raised my hand to speak on this, especially the branding. I'm not really liking, they did a great job. All the people in the county are doing a great job. Some fine tuning, that's all. Cops are corrupt in Sarasota. Well, that's what I don't deal with Sarasota. I deal with Manatee County, and in my eyes, I would have said the same thing about Manatee County. I probably would. Sorry, I say it anymore, right? You know, I don't get in trouble with my law enforcement anymore. You know, my sheriff loves me. Maybe not loves me. Maybe I give him a few headaches, but for all intents and purposes, he loves me. Okay. Oh, thank you, Donna. Nice to hear that. Believe it or not, I don't really spend. That's the secret. I really don't spend a whole lot of time on makeup. I really don't. I can literally get in and out in under 10 minutes. I got a little bit of foundation. I use my freaking pinkies for my eyeshadow, and I put some eyeliner on and a little bit of mascara. I'm done. I am not one of those people that spend an hour in front of the mirror. I've never been like that. I think it's the tomboy in me, and I always had a rule. I would never date a man that spent more time in front of the mirror than I did. Okay. I swear to God, and I still do. I still carry that rule to this day. If a man sits in front of because I am in it, like boom, 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 right? Like the hair, I'll just, go in there, fluff it, put on the makeup, walk out. Like 15 minutes tops from pajamas to walking out the door, 15 minutes. Give me 15 minutes. And so if a guy is in front of the mirror longer than I am, I don't want to date you. I don't want to see you. You are way too much for me already. I can tell you're already a drama king. I don't want no part of it. It's not loud. Okay, great. Cheers. Drinking hazelnut coffee. I don't do hazelnut. I do a number of different, like right now, the mixture is Starbucks. I got Starbucks in there, Dunkin' Donuts in there, and a Winn-Dixie French vanilla, the Winn-Dixie brand French vanilla. Like as it starts getting low, I just pour a new one on. So now it's just got its own little flavor kicking in the. So it's I don't even know what kind of coffee. It's kind of like 3 different coffees in one, but it's not hazelnut. And I only do sweetener. I very rarely do cream, but if I do cream, it's typically a like peppermint mocha. I hear Vanessa talking. I miss my friend Vanessa. Oh, and I heard Stephanie James had a head injury. So Stephanie, I saw your post in here. I hope you also feel better and get better. Getting an update on the whole situation in Idaho. They did release an update and a video. We're going to watch the video because I think the video does hold some key information that we should be paying attention to, in my opinion. And it just says the Moscow Police Department is providing the following information to update the public on the known facts surrounding the 4 murders that occurred on November 13th in Moscow, Idaho. Moscow, Idaho, the investigation team spent many hours over the weekend going through tips provided to the FBI tip line and the tip line email. Police are still looking for information regarding a 2011 to 2013 Hyundai Elantra. So I can deduct that the stolen Hyundai Elantra that has been making its rounds across the streets of YouTube and other social media platforms probably has nothing to do with this particular case. I could be wrong, but I would think that if that was the car, if it was the stolen car from that November 2nd time frame, that they would still not be looking for this car at this moment. So with them still, as of the 12th, December 12th, them saying that they're still looking for information regarding that particular car, I have to assume that the cars that we have brought forward to them have all not panned out, have not come to fruition, are not the right cars. So they're still on the lookout for the Hyundai Elantra. Tips and leads have led investigators to look for additional information about the vehicles being in the immediate area of King Road residents during the morning hours of November 13th. The FBI continues to prioritize and vet those tips. So let's read that again. Tips and leads have led investigators to look for additional information about the vehicle being in the immediate area of the King Road residents. I have a funny feeling it is video evidence of this because they are so determined to find out who is in this car, who owns this car, who was it, one person or multiple people in this car, and the fact that law enforcement haven't talked to them and these folks have not yet come forward. This seems like a big key to this puzzle. Now, we're going to watch a video of Captain Lanier talking about the facts of these cases and the importance of this car. And he seems a little more reserved in the importance in this car as opposed to the public information officer. Is there a reason for that? We're going to watch both of them. Actually, it's 3 different videos, 3 portions of 3 different videos. We're going to watch those videos, and then we're going to come back here and have a discussion about that aspect of it. Is this car more important than, say, Captain Lanier is playing it to be? Let's take a look. Again, let me know. I'm watching the chat. Let me know if you guys cannot hear this, and then we'll have to go a different route to play the video. But I'm hoping that whatever glitch has been going on has been resolved, but it probably hasn't, right? Can you guys hear that? Can you guys hear that video? Yeah, we have over almost 800 people watching this video right now. If you guys have not gone out and liked this segment, please go out now and like this segment. So I'm getting a no. Okay, so give me just a second. I'm gonna have to pull this down and put the new up. I gotta stop my screen share. I'm sorry, guys. I guess I've got to figure out what the heck is going on, why they're doing this. But either way, we'll just go ahead and get this in. Just a pain in the ass. That's all. I don't like things that cause me problems, right?
Today is December 12th, Monday, and I want to give you an update on the King Road homicide investigations, at least the information that we have to this point.
If you guys don't know, this man is Captain Lanier. So we have the Chief Fry and then Captain Lanier. So he is right under the chief. He's had his hands in this investigation. He is the man that has had all the information. If you wanted information, you went to the captain. You didn't go to the chief. The chief. You went to the captain.
Over the weekend, investigators still continued to sort through numerous tips, calls, and online tips in regard to this investigation. There's been a lot of questions about the white car that we've been interested in. We're looking for that car because we believe through our investigation that that car was in the area during the time of the murders. And we also
in the areas at the time of the murders. And let's think about the importance of this as well. Okay, the importance of this statement is that this is the first time that they've actually identified a person in this area that was unknown to us.
I believe that the occupant or occupants may have seen something. They may not know they have seen something. So we specifically want to talk to them, and we want to know who they are and what they might know or might be able to contribute to the investigation. Over the weekend, investigators have sorted through and prioritized numerous tips. Some are tips that came in earlier and we've been working on. Other tips are new and are relevant. It's overwhelming sometimes with the amount of information that comes in on these tip lines. So our analysts have spent hours sorting through and trying to come up with the most relevant tips first for the investigators to follow up on.
And guys, I want to say something, and this is going to be coming up here in just a few moments with this gentleman here. When you hear things on show, okay, when we are taking these facts and speculating on theories and hypotheses of the information that we're receiving, this is considered evidence. This is not firsthand evidence. This is not a legit tip. This is just us having a conversation about what we perceive may have happened at that home. I'm hopeful, and I don't know that anybody on this particular channel is doing it, but I do want to address it in case other people are watching this. You know, when you hear this stuff, unless you were there, unless you have firsthand knowledge, unless you have a video, unless you know somebody that was there, unless you have, again, firsthand knowledge, please don't call the tip line. You don't need to call the tip line with your speculation or anything like that. If it's absolutely eating at you, send an email. If it's something you absolutely have to tell law enforcement, don't waste their resources on a phone call. Try to make your email very short, specific, and to the point so they can get through it and vet it very quickly. But, you know, I think when we hear law enforcement, see, my first response is law enforcement should never be, I mean, I understand this day and age, you've got to look at social media and things like that, but I sometimes feel that law enforcement gets distracted by social media. They're so concerned about what people are saying out there on social media and trying to correct the messaging that they're taking away services from the actual investigation. Just my personal opinion. And sometimes I wish that they would just dismiss the misinformation, because many people on YouTube will eventually understand what is misinformation and what pure conjecture, pure conjecture or factual information. And so I think that they get a little distracted. But you know what? In fairness, when I heard the way he was talking, it put a light bulb in my eye that it's not necessarily that. It's the fact that people are actually taking this misinformation and contacting them to discuss this misinformation. Now, these are people that literally have no connection to this case. They are not a witness, don't even reside in the area, and have no legitimate information that could be beneficial to this case. And those people are calling in and taking valuable resources. Those valuable resources should be only utilized for people with direct knowledge or people with tips and people that have videotapes and things like that of the area. If you're not in the area and you absolutely have to let law enforcement know, get something off your chest, please do that by email. Don't be calling in and giving, long-winded tips, and keep your emails short and sweet, please, so they can get through these. If you've got to go through an entire half-hour dissertation to explain your position, then you probably shouldn't. You probably don't need to be writing the email. Okay, so just use your common sense when contacting law enforcement with any of these cases. Okay, people do stumble people that don't area happen to stumble upon information all the time that is relevant and pertinent to the case. I don't want to prevent that type of information from getting to the hands of the people that can help, i.e. the law enforcement, but I want people to start respecting the fact that these are real cases and these are real valuable resources that are being exerted from these law enforcement over people, going and listening to someone and then thinking about a theory and calling that theory in. That's not the place to do that. I'm just trying to make sure, and maybe people don't realize that's not the place to do this. So that's why I'm just trying to educate folks on that. But let's listen to what he has to say.
They have re-interviewed some of the folks we've interviewed earlier in this investigation to clarify information. Sometimes when new information comes forward, the people that we've spoken to beforehand may have new insight on that.
So again, this is what we'd like to hear. We are all complaining that we feel that certain people were excluded way too soon. I'm not really necessarily on that bandwagon, but I do know that there are a lot of people in my audience that feel that way. And so at least we know that law enforcement, it was not one and done. They are going back to these folks. They are re-interviewing these folks. When new information comes back, they go back and question them. So that's good information. That's great information. That's what we want to hear from law enforcement, guys.
So it does often seem like we're backtracking, but we're really just trying to get the most important details and the best timeline that we can come up with. We have literally an army of analysts who have been sorting through videos that have been submitted through the FBI.gov Moscow upload site.
And guys, they had received an enormous amount of uploads. We'll get to the amount of uploads. I think they give us a breakdown of that on the press conference that I was just reading from. So we'll get to that after this.
Those videos are from all over town, gas stations, and specifically the area around King Road. We've been trying to use those videos to garner new information. As you can imagine, there's hours and hours and hours of videos, so it does take a lot of time. I want to talk a minute about safety.
Before we get into the conversation about safety, I did want to address the videos and them having to go through this. I don't know if you guys have ever watched any kind, well, I'm pretty sure all of us have watched some sort of, this just shared. Hold on, guys, let me, give me just a second. This morning, Chatham County Juvenile Court has told us no comment about why Billy Joe is in jail. We reached out to our lawyers to remake the request for information. The 45-year-old is in jail on a hold from juvenile court charge, often filed for contempt of court. So it does sound like we did get some information on Vision's channel last night. That it's possible that there were some things that went on. Just to take away from this, sorry for segueing right back to the program, but it is just coming in. We broke this news that Brett broke the news, and then we followed up that Billy Joe Howell is in jail right now for some charge from the juvenile court system. I assumed at first that it was related to the fact she lied to the court to get custody of the kids, just to turn around and leave them in Leilani's care. Just to follow up, the clerk of juvenile court, Chatham County, says the case related to Billy Joe Howell is closed and that its office can't discuss the matter. So it's definitely associated with the children because that case has a gag order on it, and we don't know what those things, what that means at this time. So sorry for taking away from our actual topic. of the Idaho 4, but we are having a breaking information in the Quentin Simon case, which we did cover. I spent weeks down in up in Chatham County, Georgia, covering this case, fighting for this little boy, where Dolly Vision went to jail because another lady had assaulted. Further explanation from the judge. The court quoted Rule 2.10, apparently claiming the explanation that hold charge for Billy Joe Howe is facing would affect a fair trial or hearing, according to the jail's website. So there had been no bond set for Billy Joe Howe at this moment. But again, that's the grandmother. We went down there with 3 goals in mind, and that was our number one goal was making sure Quentin was out of that landfill. That was our number one goal in that case, is making sure Quentin was out of that landfill and could rest in peace. It broke my heart to think that a 20-month-old child could possibly have a final resting place of a landfill. The other one is to make sure that we knew, literally 24 hours without a doubt, that Leilani was responsible for this crime. Even law enforcement later came out and said they had more than enough evidence to arrest her and convict her without the body. It upsets me even more as to why she was walking the streets for so long when they had enough evidence to take her to court without Quentin. Either way, I digress. But he was brought home. She was brought to justice, and I was furious when we found out from law enforcement that Billy Joe was not going to face any kind of criminality when she lied to the court about taking care of these kids and getting custody of these kids and keeping them away from their mother, just to turn around and give them right back to their mother, where one of them ended up losing their life at the hands of their mother, Leilani Simon. And so now she is in jail. So all 3 of our goals that we wanted going down to Georgia have been fulfilled at this moment. It didn't come in the way that we desired for it to come, but it did come, and I can't be happier. And no thanks to No Charge Hadley, by the way. No thanks to him. And I still think he should never, ever, ever oversee another case like this again. He does not have the grit to do it, and I will stand behind that 100%. Horrible, horrible police chief. But I am glad that, and that's just professional. I'm not dogging him personally. That's professionally. I don't like his work. Seems like a nice man personally. Okay. Seems like a stand-up guy personally. But professionally, no, like him. But anyways, let's get back to this. That was just a segue. So we're talking right now, for those that are coming in, we're talking about the press conference that was given by Captain Lanier. We just went through it. We're just now about to start talking about the safety aspect. A lot of people were saying, well, you know, if this was a targeted attack and it's not a serial killer, why are people having to worry about their protection? And he kind of explains it here. I'm not going to call BS. You know, they don't know what the heck they're doing just yet. But it's starting to lean that way, if you ask me. Okay, just saying. I give it to you guys the way I see it. You guys can have your own opinion.
There's been a lot of speculation about what is the safety to the public right now, or the risk to the public right now. I would just like to add that we should always be vigilant. Certainly we should be vigilant now, but we should make that a way of life for us. We should always be walking with our head up, sticking to lighted paths, and walking in groups if we can. And in addition, letting people know when you've arrived home if you have not made prior arrangements. This is not an indication of a specific elevated risk, but something that we should be vigilant with just in our daily lives. I want to let everybody know that we are still 100% committed to solving this crime. There's a lot of information to sort through, and the information keeps coming in. And not all of the information is relevant, but you don't know if a tip is valid until you take the time to examine that tip and see how it relates to other information that you might have. We have teams in Moscow, Salt Lake City, and in Virginia, as well as other locations across the country. And we're prepared to do interviews and follow up on information.
So it's almost like, I mean, you know, he's this calming thing, but what is he trying to say when he says, you know, we can do interviews halfway across the country and all that? Is he saying that this guy, that this person, to the best of their knowledge, is not even in the area? And if so, why don't they just come out and tell us that? Why do the word salad? Why do the word salad? I just don't get it. I don't get it. I could be wrong, guys. I could be wrong, but I just don't get
it. At any point, anywhere. The ISP and FBI investigators, along with the Moscow Police Department investigators, includes dozens of analysts, tip line operators, and others, and they're working around the clock 7 days a week to sort through the volumes of information. MPD has detectives, support personnel, and a communications team to try to keep everything together, but it is still a daunting task. The FBI, their investigators are ready at a moment's notice at any place in the country to go conduct an interview.
And he keeps saying that. And I see what some people think for always keeping us up. Oh, thank you, Carla. God bless you. God bless you. Thank you. It's amazing. Thank you. Heather, what you're hearing playing in the background, you must not have been here at the beginning. That's okay. I'm doing double duty right now. I'm in the middle of a meeting, and I'm running live because I was getting so late. I was hoping I had my opportunity to speak my concerns. I have not had an so I just went ahead and went live and let everybody know you guys are going to be hearing some stuff in the background until it's my turn. Then I'll mute myself, have my speech, and I'll be back here and I can turn the video and everything off. But it's community comments don't come until the very end of the meeting. So I don't want to miss my opportunity. So that's what you're hearing.
Should the tips and leads take us there. And the Idaho State Police has, besides working on the investigation, had several uniformed troopers in the area to help with safety concerns around the city and on the University of Idaho campus.
And I will say this, when I was there visiting, there was not a place that I went that I did not see law enforcement. I can honestly tell you, I felt safer there being out there walking than I did driving, because I just felt that safe. Every time you turned around, there was law enforcement right there, literally right there.
And just a quick reminder, please stick to official news releases for information. Tracking down rumors and quelling rumors about specific individuals or specific events that may or may not have happened is a huge distraction for investigators, and oftentimes is the result of social media propagation. And it is very, very...
And this, guys, I have to be honest with you. We've heard some very disturbing and alarming things that came out from some of the creators here on YouTube. They are more in line with the conspiracy theorist aspect of YouTube as opposed to true crime. They just kind of commingle it and take true crime and conspiracy theorists the crap out of it. And I think that that's what he's referring to here. Now, I don't know, because as many of you know, I really don't watch a whole lot of YouTube commentators unless people are physically out at locations. I really don't pay them or their opinions a whole lot of mind. And I'm sorry, it's a flaw of mine. But I don't want it screwing with my train of thought, especially if it's not relevant information. And I just trust my work a lot better. That's why whenever I go into these, the ones that I actually go out to find out information, I go out there to be the expert of that case, to find out every little aspect of that case. And I do it fairly well. This case was a little bit more difficult in Moscow because everybody was so tight-lipped. It was hard to get anybody to speak. And that concerns me. You know, what is it coming to where kids in a university, 4 of them can be slaughtered, and every person there wants to keep their mouth shut? That scares the crap out of me. That should scare the crap out of parents across this country, quite frankly. You know, there is no honor in silence. Not like this, in my opinion.
Frustrating to investigators and hard to stay on track. Finally, I just want to add that we do have a lot of information, and we are specifically keeping that information safe. We're not releasing specific details
This is the information that I like right here. Okay, we're going to go back so you guys get to hear it again. They're telling us that they have some good intel. They can't tell us what that intel is. Okay, so let's just go back just a little bit.
Keeping that information safe and track. Finally, I just want to add that we do have a lot of information, and we are specifically keeping that information safe.
Specifically keeping that information. They've got something, folks. And I think it has to do with the white car.
We're not releasing specific details because we do not want to compromise this investigation.
So by releasing these specific details, it will compromise the investigation. That's what we're hearing.
It's what we must do. We owe that to the families, and we owe that to the victims. We want more than just an arrest. We want a conviction. We owe that justice to Xana, Kaylee, Madison, and Ethan. And finally, I would just like to remind anybody with information, you can call the tip line at 208.
They are still welcoming more information, folks. If you've got something, do not flood these lines, these tip lines, this stuff with YouTube videos, okay? Or call them and say, hey, you know, I watched a YouTube video and this is what I think. We need legit leads and tips going to them. So if you don't have a legit lead or tip, don't call, please. Don't call. This is only reserved for legit leads and tips, firsthand knowledge, videos, photographs, timeline information that you know with specificity and have knowledge of, or know somebody who does. That is what that tip line is reserved for. Please use these means of contacting police very, very wisely. 4 young adults lie, well, I guess their justice lies in your hands. So let's not utilize resources that don't need to be utilized.
883-7180. And that is directly to the tip line office in the FBI. There's been some frustration about having to wade through the tip line, but remember, this is not the only investigation in the country. So please be patient. We want that information. Anything could break this open for us. And then also the email tip line is tipline@ci.moscow.id.us. Thank you for your continued.
All right, so we heard that. We're going to have to remove that because in order for it to hear, I got to put up another screen. So now we're going to go to a different screen. If I can find it. Probably don't even have it up yet. But it's, and we watched it yesterday. Give me just a second, guys. Let me get this up. All right, so I want you guys to hear, there it is. Let me just get through the video or the commercials. You guys can probably at you. Just not the video. All right, so. Okay. There we go. I want you guys to hear this because this is a little bit different. We just heard the whole thing from Captain Lanier, but this was done a few days ago, and I want you guys to hear this. Here we go.
2013 Hyundai Elantra seen near the house the night of the murders. U.S. Border Patrol agents are monitoring Canadian border.
Again, why are they, if this is just a witness, why are they monitoring Canadian borders?
Crossings for the mystery car. What's the significance of this car?
The significance of the car is we know it was there.
We know it was there. And she looks pretty direct, you know. We know it was there. It was in the area. We know we haven't spoken to the people inside the vehicle or the persons, right? This is a more direct, so is Captain Lanier kind of, you know, saying this? Obviously, they're looking for the Elantra as a direct result of this case. We just heard from Captain Lanier saying they do have information they cannot release because it will jeopardize this case. Is that what they are referring to? Do they know who owns this white Elantra? Do they know who they are looking for? Interesting. What is the four channel deal about? What is the 4chan? I don't know what you're talking about, Susie. I have no idea. So we heard that.
We know we haven't spoken to who was in that car.
We know we have not spoken to who was in that car, right? So let me pull that back to hear one more video from her. Let me find it. I gotta tell you, county work is some of the most boring work you could ever do. Like being a person that likes to help the county and help legislate. Woo! I think it's this one here. Should have had these up, but I wasn't expecting to talk about this today. Oh, this is the one of us. Did you guys get to see this? This is me and Olivia's interview. Let me pull up if you guys saw this or not while we were out there. Share screen from tab. University murders. Yes, yes, yes. I don't know if you guys saw this or not. You guys, the interview that Olivia and I were in.
National and international attention as police have yet to arrest or name a suspect in the deadly stabbings.
Crime 2's Kyle Simchuk is live in Moscow outside the house where it happened. He spoke to people who traveled across the country to cover this story.
Well, here we are, day 18, still no suspect, no murder weapon found. King Street, where this house is, has been busy over the last few weeks with a lot of police cars, news cars, and even YouTubers and TikTokers.
The faces and names of the 4 murdered University of Idaho students have become known to people across the country. Last night's vigil was covered by national news outlets, big TV cameras lined up inside the Kibbe Dome, and today, much smaller ones outside the crime scene.
So we're YouTubers that travel this country following true crime. I'm Bullhorn Betty, and this is Chronicles of Olivia.
Their cameras may be small, but Olivia Vitale and Andra Griffin have a big reach. Millions of views on TikTok and YouTube. The pair met covering the disappearance and murder of Gabby Petito. Now they're in Moscow, covering the case on social media.
College kids, this is horrific. It's just horrific. Whether this made national news or not, we were coming regardless because we just wanted to support the community. We wanted to support these families. We wanted to support the victims.
They say this case hits home for a lot of families, and it's why people all over the country are following it.
The 4 victims were kids. They were in their early 20s, and a lot of people have daughters and sisters and friends that are in that age group, and it's just really hard to think that that could have been someone that you knew.
Andra and Olivia face plenty of criticism online and in person. The man in this truck cursed them out today and told them to leave. An officer told us he's harassed other reporters covering the murders.
That comes with the territory. She can tell, attest to it. Everywhere we go.
It always happens.
It always happens. We're used to it by now. It's just sad that people are so disrespectful. We're trying to be respectful. We're trying to show respect for the families. We're trying to show respect for the victims.
These YouTubers say part of their job is keeping the story alive as police continue to hunt for the killer.
Kaylee Gonsalves, she followed me on TikTok and watched my true crime videos. And when I found that out, that really broke my heart because it's just eerie to think that her life ended in a crime. It makes me want to spread her story and I really want justice for her and her friends that lost their lives. This person got away with it. They're walking the roads right now. It could be anyone, and that's a scary thought.
Idaho State Police told us today that detectives are getting ready to take down this yellow tape and clear the crime scene. They've taken more than 4,000
Just froze up a little bit. Sorry about that, guys.
photographs of inside
Sorry
and
for
outside of the
freezing.
house, collected hundreds of pieces of evidence, and there's still a lot of resources on this case, more than a dozen detectives from the FBI, and they're still asking anyone with information, no matter how significant, to come forward. In Moscow, Kyle Sam.
There was conversation that I wanted to bring up from the public information officer that I didn't get an opportunity to do. So anyways, guys, that's really it for the show for right now. I'm still in my BOCC meeting. I did want to come here and show some love to you guys. I'm back, we're back on track. I know you guys aren't seeing me as much, but I am working around the clock still here, and we'll continue to do so. We'll do open panel hopefully later today. I know I have been saying that but I told you guys yesterday I wasn't going to make any promises for the afternoon, especially this time of year. It's so tough for me. But either way, we'll try to get something rolled out this afternoon. We'll open a panel up on here. But again, no promises. If I come here, it'll probably be, it's already 11:30. So probably about 3 or 4 o'clock this afternoon. Thank you, Kristen. Thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, we did that as a labor of love. We didn't really ask for a whole lot of community support on this venture because, one, we didn't want people knowing we were there until we got there. And that just comes with the territory. But I hope we still did great. There's still a lot of content I haven't released. I know I need to get working on it. And I've even got an interview that's been released yet that nobody's heard. And it's somebody that has been accused of doing this crime and it just wants to be left alone. So I'm still on cutting that all up, getting some stuff out that doesn't need to be brought to the public attention. And then I'll release that interview here in the near, probably within the next week. But it's still a great interview. Yes, justice for Quentin. Justice does come slow sometimes. I'm really upset that, again, Chief Hadley could not find a crime that Billie Joe committed when she lied to the courts to get custody of her grandchildren, which ended up resulting in one of her grandchildren's deaths. It's her actions that resulted in that death. Yes, her daughter killed her son, but if she had taken this seriously, Quentin would have never been in possession of his mother. So all of this was 100% preventable if Billie Joe had honored what she promised the court she'd do, and she didn't. So even though the police chief couldn't put it together, clearly this judge is quite hot under the collar and probably pretty ticked off that they didn't bring anything against Billie Joe. And she is going to make sure that Billie Joe walks a thin line, it sounds like to me. And you know what? That is a line that Billie Joe should have been walking a long time ago and take pipe out of her mouth. It has caused enough damage in her life. She's got 2 children in jail for murder, a grandson dead, and she is still partying. The only way the woman's going to stop is being in jail. At least with her being in jail, we know she's not going to die today. And yes, it's just that severe. So I may be a bitch, but I ain't a heartless bitch. And I find the good in everything. So at the end of the day, Billie Joe is right where she deserves to be. She's on no bond. I hope she's there for Christmas. She doesn't deserve a Christmas. But even if she is let out, it doesn't matter. At this point, she went to jail. And that is the best news that we can get, especially for the benefit of Quentin. He should have never, ever been put in a position where he could have lost his life. And that's exactly what Billie Joe did. That is unforgivable to me. Do I think she deserves to lose her life over it? No, but she deserves to be held accountable for that. Do I, this is where Dolly and I completely are polar opposites when it comes to Leilani. I want to see her on death row. What she did to her own flesh and blood That is like, it should be like, he's just the opposite. It's like, oh, if she did that to somebody else's kid, it should be harder to do it to your own kid as opposed to somebody else's. And she did it with ease. She did it with ease. So no, I think because it's her kid, because it's her own offspring, because she birthed that child out of her body, she should have to face what she has done. And she killed that boy. And she should have to be an eye for an eye, a tooth for a tooth. I'm sorry. That's just the way I feel. And you'll never convince me otherwise. I don't care, you know, at this point, if she says it's an accident without proof that it was an accident, without undoubtable proof, I will never, ever, ever believe it because of the information I found out about Leilani and Quentin specifically. So that's just where, you know, again, you guys know Dolly and I are friends, but we don't parrot each other. For great debate. I respect his opinions. I respect his perspective. But this is just one of those perspectives I will never get on board with. If she is guilty of harming her child, she deserves death. She deserves death. And I hope they go after the death penalty on this particular case. I don't think that there's any other person that's more justly deserving of that sentence than a woman that kills her 20-month-old child, that has had a history of abusing that child in its poor little 20 months, abusing it to the point that it has bruises and knots on its body. Unexcusable. That poor 20-month-old child went through pure hell in his 20 months, not even 2 years old, and lost his life at the hands of his mother. And I'm sorry, but if that doesn't deserve the death penalty, then I don't know why we even have one. That's just my thoughts. Anyways, guys, have a great day. Don't forget to be fearless. If you see something, say something. An ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. We are looking at what a pound of cure looks like with the Quentin Simon case and the Idaho 4 case. You guys have an amazing day, and I hope to see you guys real soon. God bless each and every one of you. And if you guys would like to, we are raising money for records. We're almost there. We're about, I want to say about $80 shy of our records goal. This is the records that we are trying to get from Moscow, Idaho. They gave me a bill of $385. It's with the change, it's about $386 to get these. We've got almost all of the funds raised. If you guys would like to help contribute for the extra $80, you can do that through Venmo, Cash App, and PayPal. You need to put in the memo section for records. And here's why. Because we do not reach the goal, I do not deserve that money, because the money is specifically earmarked for records. And I need to be able to go down and refund that money from the app. And if you do not have it tagged as records, you may miss your refund. So we're almost there. I don't think I'm going to have to refund the money. But just for all intents and purposes, to make sure everything is we don't need any more hate than we already have, right? So let's just keep it all professional. If you're donating to the records, we still are in need of about $80 more. You can get the records ordered today. Again, Venmo, Cash App, and PayPal. Memo, records for the memo section, please. But again, we're $80 shy, so I can't imagine us not coming up with that today or tomorrow. So the records are going to be ordered this week, one way or another. So, but just for records purposes, we want to make sure that everything is documented correctly. Okay, and you guys can help me by doing that. We've talked about the coroner statements. Let me see if there's anything else. Oh, I know what I was going to talk about and didn't. I know what I was going to talk about. Sorry, we're not done yet. Sorry, guys. Come back in. Come back in. We're not done yet. I forgot a big portion of the segment. I'm sorry. I'm losing it over here. I'm losing it. Okay, so here is the girl. This is we've been hearing that there's been a girl that died, lost her life, unalived herself due to bullying and stuff like that. And while that was a permanent solution to a temporary problem. I never advocate for that. I mean, many of us here at lowest points in our life, and we wondered how we would make it through, right? How would we make it through? And we did. You know, she didn't. She allowed the grips of depression to get the best of her. And yes, depression does not necessarily mean you have a problem with depression that persists on and on and on. Depression can come in singular moments. Depression can be for a singular situation. And once that situation is resolved, your depression goes away. It doesn't mean that just because you're depressed today that you're going to be depressed the rest of your life. Some people have that problem, but there are a lot of other people that do not. But it's very sad because it looks like she lost her life on February 24th, 2022. And this is kind of relevant because we're hearing through the grapevine that this was a neighbor to Maddie. You know, is there somebody that's out there that's a death of another student? You know, could these girls have been mean to her? I don't know if they were or not. I don't know. I don't want to, you know, victim shame or anything like that. I don't want to be, you know, but it's just something that I got to throw out there respectfully. It's something I got to throw out there respectfully. How did this girl unalive herself? Is this any connection with the girls? And I hope that law enforcement does, you know, let us know. So we wanted to find out a little more information on who Claire is. And it does look like it's right there at that great house that we've seen multiple times in a lot of our videos. So this is a little scary. The University of Idaho murders has shocked the nation. Now, we know about Hannah Claire and her related to Maddie Mogan. Every day you can find something new related to this. So let me just read this. Sorry. Moscow, Idaho, a small and usually quiet town. Shocked. Let's see, who is Hannah, the neighbor of Madison Mogan? All of them were between 20 and 21. Police have not yet found out who the suspects are in the case. Online detectives have looked in the Idaho murders on their own and come up with a number of ideas about who might have killed the four people. Hannah and the bullying angle in the Idaho murder mysteries. A recent theory on Twitter said that one of the people who died in the Idaho murder case was a bully, and that her former roommate Claire killed themselves because of what they did. What happened to Hudson Lindo, another university of student who died this year, which makes people wonder. So there are several people that have lost their life in and around this, and they're wondering if is there a bullying effect on this campus that is nobody's really referring to. And remember, we are looking at that the other kid, the one in Michigan. What was his name? The student that ended up shooting up the school, Oxford, the Oxford shooting. Remember that? You know, he was a kid that was bullied. So, you know, this does kind of go right in line with, you know, the theory of whom I believe would be responsible for something like this. Somebody that they know, somebody that's very, very angry, somebody that wants power, somebody that was humiliated by one or some of those, the victims. So this kind of falls right into that. So to clarify, Hannah Claire took her life in February. Apparently she shared a dorm with one of the victims and got bullied. Her birthday was the 15th of November. So it coincides with right around the time that this all happened. Is this possibly related to this person or Hudson? We don't know. We also have confirmed information out, even though it wasn't confirmed by law enforcement, that it appears that Ethan got into a squabble with another fraternity member the night in question. And people are asking, does that have anything to do with this? I do know a few days ago, maybe a week ago, I could see the turn where law enforcement, through their press conferences, press releases rather, were starting to take a deeper look into the fraternity and the fraternity folks associated with it. So it's still a whodunit, guys. But I think that whole white Elantra is a key piece of actual evidence in this case that may likely to the person or persons responsible for this homicide, these homicides rather. And not only that, but think about it. Even if it was one person that went in the house and one person that drove away, both of those people are as guilty as one another. The driver to the same extent as the person that actually committed the act. So there is that. But we have to think that, in my opinion, somebody that does something like this would want to do it absolutely 100% alone without anybody knowing about it, because you can keep the secret to yourself. You let one person in, you've got to trust and rely that they can keep that secret as well. And there is nobody that you can rely on other than yourself to keep a secret like this, in my opinion. Into one request at a time, and they'll be free. Mama Llama, yes, we were considering doing that, but because the record request is in and I just have to pay the fee, we're going to go ahead and order the records. And I stated yesterday, from this point forward, I will be. But for me to now split 4 record requests up, it's going to be at least another 2 weeks, and that's just too long. We need to get those records in as quickly as possible, but I have several other record requests that are going out individually. But I did ask the lady at the desk when I was filling them out if I needed 4 separate requests or to put them all on one, and she had me put them all on one, which is upsetting to me, because had I known, by following their instructions that I would be here, then I would have probably trusted my own intuition on filling out the request and got 4 separate requests. But that's where we're at. It's $386, and it's body cam footage and audios as well, which they said that I would have to pay for regardless. So either way, I'm out. I'm going to be out the money, especially with the audios. So there's no way around it. I mean, the paperwork itself, they probably will give it to me for free, but it's the audios and the discs and all that other stuff that I requested in conjunction, because I didn't see any point. I mean, I can pull paperwork from other people's stuff, but I know there's not a lot of people paying the money to get the audios and visual aids, the camera footage and stuff like that. They're getting very specific stuff. I'm not that specific. I want to review everything and see if anything happened prior to this that might help bring some clues to this case, because sometimes things just didn't spur up that night and then it resulted in this. Some things have been building for some time, and if we can try to find out, that information through the use of records requests, then I'd like to do that. But yeah, I agree with you. So that's it with Hannah. It's really sad. She looked very beautiful. I can kind of see where she was picked on. She was a little more heavy set. She had the glasses and stuff. But, a lot of people are kind of nerdy in school and college. And some people don't even get their footing until, they're in their 30s, as far as looks and appeal and where you want your life to go and the direction of your life and things of that nature. So, I feel really bad for her. I definitely want more information about Hannah and Hudson, just to see if there's any connection there. But even though they lived in close proximity, doesn't mean that there's any connection. There very well may be a connection, but there also may not be. So, all right, guys. Well, I've been on here a little longer than I expected. They're still talking on my BOCC meeting. So let me go ahead and let you guys go, and we'll try to get back here this afternoon. If not, then I will be early, much earlier in the morning tomorrow on Wednesday, and I'll talk to you guys soon. So God bless each and every one of you guys. Again, don't forget to be fearless. If you see something, say something. An ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure.
As you wake up in the morning, you want to find the latest, greatest information about criminal cases and have an intuitive conversation about the suspects associated with these cases. Head over to the Bullhorn Betty channel on YouTube. Get brave breaking news right here on the Bullhorn Betty channel. Welcome to the Bullhorn Betty Coffee Club. Enjoy your stay and enjoy your day.